building material is strong enough to shape our city skylines, yet light enough to carry in the field, sturdy enough to build skyscrapers that touch the clouds, yet flexible enough to be cut on site, durable enough to span rivers and canyons for decades, yet readily available to frame an average two-story single-family house using only common tools and fasteners? Steel, of course. The world is changing, and with it, the way we build. Once abundant resources are now increasingly scarce and expensive. Faced with an often chaotic and unpredictable marketplace, builders and developers must now consider new options, new ways of building. And steel is a building material more and more builders are looking at, trying, using, and liking in residential construction.
So we're always on the lookout for something that gives us a better position in the marketplace, something that puts us more on the leading edge of technology.
Steel. The very word conjures up images of an unwieldy, cumbersome material better suited to the commercial construction site than the home building site. Yet nothing could be further from the truth. For steel framing materials are as light and versatile as any residential construction material. They come in a wide range of lengths, thicknesses, and strengths. They're easy to transport and easy to cut, screw, and fasten. Because steel is recycled more than any other recyclable material, over 66%, it is abundant, something rare in today's age of scarce resources. Most important of all, steel is consistently a high-quality construction material, proven in the field. But steel is not the best-kept secret in the market. Because of its qualities, environmental efficiency, ease of use, and overall quality, steel was chosen by the National Association of Home Builders for the framing, entry doors, and appliances of its innovative Resource Conservation House. The house is intended to showcase products that conserve the nation's natural resources, with emphasis on materials of enhanced durability and reduced maintenance.
With the Resource Conservation House, we wanted to look at products that have the opportunity to conserve the nation's resources, to recycle materials where it's appropriate, to conserve energy and water resources so that builders can sustain development into the future.
In a world where resources are becoming more scarce, NAHB's Resource Conservation House points to a future already here. A future where customers want homes to be environmentally sound, as well as comfortable, safe, and secure. Steel is becoming the material of choice for that future. When you build with steel, you're building with a product that is recycled more than any other material, and one with a recycling infrastructure already in place. For you, the builder, these are advantages that translate into stable prices for steel materials, allowing you, for instance, to easily vary wall thickness and achieve added insulation. For your customer, the environmental edge provides the kind of added value that can make your house a standout, unique, long-lasting, desirable.
We sent the bid out for like 3 or 4 framing from wood framers, and the cost element came back basically about the same. The cost of wood has continued to go up. The ecology factor is going to dictate that it continues to increase. Scarcity of it is just going to demand the prices go higher, so we felt that this was the way to go.
As a builder or developer, you know that delays in product delivery, lack of skilled labor, hard-to-use tools, and other complications can prove costly. Enough so that control over these factors ultimately determines profit or loss on a job. Steel is neither a risk nor a bold experiment. In fact, many builders around the country, builders of single-family and modular homes, builders involved with the NAHB Resource House have discovered, much to their satisfaction, that steel possesses all the attributes they've come to expect from traditional building materials.
It's the exact same approach as the lumber yard, and there's good reasons for this. We supply the wall studs cut to length because that's one item that is pretty controllable. Roof rafters, ceiling joists, members like that, we supply standard lengths pretty much in the same way that they would receive standard lengths for the lumber yard.
The design and manufacture of steel components for residential construction adheres to rigorous industry and national standards. Builders can order steel housing components pre-built for on-site assembly or pre-cut to standard or custom sizes. Supplies can be obtained through building material dealers found in metropolitan areas or ordered direct from the factories. Delivery of steel is like any other material. It comes in trucks, pre-cut and ready to assemble. Unloading steel is straightforward. You do it either by hand or using an available on-site machine, such as a boom truck or forklift. The same goes for handling steel on site. It can be moved around in stacks, like lumber, or carried as individual pieces. Once on the site, framing procedures are much the same as in traditionally framed houses. Tools you use, tools you're already familiar with, are all off-the-shelf items, ranging from a chop saw or circular saw for cutting to a screw gun for screwing in fasteners. And the labor force skilled in building with steel is large and growing. Construction elements of a steel-framed house are divided into three parts: floor, wall, and roof systems. At the floor level, steel joists are attached to the foundation through a combination of screws, anchor bolts, and connection brackets. Anchoring steel joists to your foundation and interior bearing is a straightforward affair, involving one's choice of screws, brackets, and bolts, or a combination of all three, depending on structural needs, topographical, and code requirements. Wall assembly is also a familiar operation. Using tracks, studs, and screws, walls are framed as with other materials. Wall openings, headers, lateral and diagonal bracing are accomplished quickly and efficiently. Steel roof framing poses no particular problems. Trusses can be obtained pre-assembled or be field erected using screws, plates, and clips. Steel offers the same degree of construction flexibility as any building material on the market. Not only can it frame your roof, but it can also be used as a superior exterior roofing material. Finally, steel construction helps minimize the time required for completion of the building process. Pre-punched steel studs allow for plumbers and electricians to run their lines without delay or special accommodation. When additional holes are required, they can be easily drilled or punched.
The only difference is we're using screw guns instead of nail guns, and we're using different kind of saw blades for the steel to the wood.
In a competitive marketplace, builders seek an edge, something that will allow them to build better and faster without sacrificing quality. Steel has already proven itself a quality building material in commercial, multifamily, and institutional construction. The advantages that steel brings to these larger scale projects can be the same that would benefit the small, medium, and large volume home builder. Steel is a dependable material, and that translates into price stability and a readily available material. It is manufactured to strict AISI and ASTM industry standards, which are recognized by all model building codes. There's less waste when using steel materials. What's left over, no matter how small or insignificant, can be recycled. Steel is dimensionally stable. A builder doesn't have to worry about steel warping or buckling. Protective coatings, particularly with roofing, ensure long-term integrity. Steel is not as vulnerable to climatic changes and strong winds. Steel is vermin and termite-proof. But quality alone is not sufficient reason to change building materials. There's also a cost-saving side to using steel. Being non-combustible, steel can save the builder and owner in complying with fire code. This translates into lower insurance rates. Because steel doesn't warp or twist, And because screws are a positive attachment, thereby providing better resistance to wind loads, using steel means less instability and fewer callbacks for builders. And fewer callbacks means less repair and replacement costs, and a satisfied customer.
When the builder looks at the project and has to justify the budget, you know, he has to say, is it better? Is it faster? Is it going to last longer? Do I have a longer cycle of amortization for whatever costs are incurred? All of those factors have to be figured in, but the bottom line still is that it must be competitive, and not only competitive, it must be at the same dollar figure. And today, in today's market, steel is there.
For years, steel has helped to forge our cities. Now, builders can harness this material to shape the homes we live in. For NAHB, steel was the logical choice in framing their resource conservation house. NAHB built it with steel. Builders around the country are building with steel. You can too.